We'll tell you why Town should be making wholesale changes this weekend, and the playoffs being expanded. We think that's a woeful idea. Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to a match preview. And of course, we're going to touch on those playoffs. We'll kick things off straight away with our gut meter test. How confident we are heading into this one. Matt, kick us off. How confident are you heading into the FA Cup against Wrexham?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, because I'm really not sure what kind of side we're going to put out. We discussed this, didn't we, in the last show? Probably give me the choice between the cup and the league, and I'm going to take 3 points in the league game that follows the week after. But I mean, look, I'll say 6 or 7. Six or seven?
Yeah, 6 or 7, 6, 7, as the younger generation would say with their viral trends. Curtis, it's always hard trying to put a confidence to FA Cup games, because as Matt says, you don't know what sort of team we're going to put out. I know what us three here think, and I've got some wholesale changes and then why coming up later. But what do you feel coming into it? What's your gut telling you?
It's like Matt said, it's a tough one knowing that you play in the same opposition a week later. So
absolutely.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how seriously we want to take the cup competition, because obviously our main aim would be to go on and hopefully secure that second spot, if not first spot. But maybe that's 6 or 7 again. But only because, like I say, it's such an unusual situation having the same opposition a week apart, but in different competition formats. So we'll have to wait and see what the actual team is.
Absolutely. Great for me, though, with the graphics. I've got to do them once for 2 games. It is absolutely brilliant. However, you've set the table really nicely there for our expected changes, our 1 to 11s, because I think wholesale. I think someone in the chat feel wholesale. I'll explain why I feel that later, and maybe you two feel the same. But look, news coming out early part of the week was the playoffs are going to be discussed, going to be expanded to include down to 8th position. I think this is an absolute woeful idea, woeful. But I want to hear from what you two feel and the live chat feel as well. So what do you think about the playoffs possibly being expanded to include down to 8th position? Curtis, I'll start with you. I'll start with Matt last time. What's your initial thoughts on this one?
As I messaged you previously, I said I just don't understand it. I think it's a non-issue. I think the way it's laid out at the moment is absolutely fair enough. The way it is, you get your top 2 going up, and then the rest have to fight out for that final spot. I think it's absolutely fair. I can see why people would maybe moan when you get certain teams missing out by 1 point and they've got X amount of points and this and that. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Like, surely we can't just keep accommodating to, like, we're 7th place, 8th place, 9th place. Because at what point do you stop, really? I mean, for me, that's just the way it is. If you haven't accumulated enough points to be in a promotion spot or a playoff spot, then that's just the way. That's the way the season falls here. We can't start accommodating for more and more teams, because, like I say, where does it end?
No, I completely agree with you. Where does it end? You start with lowering it to 8th, and then before you know it, it's 10th. And then before you know it, you could potentially turn into, for me, an NBA style, where the NBA, they've got 2 conferences of 15 teams. 8 from that conference makes the playoffs. It kind of makes a lot of the season meaningless. But if you know half the conference in NBA style is getting in, it does become a little bit less jeopardy towards the end of the campaign. And Matt, this would, for me, do the exact same thing. It's all fine and dandy when the league table says, oh yeah, all these teams are close. But we know come into the season, there'll be dead rubber games. There'll be teams on the beach playing their youth team, like, because that's how the season normally progresses, right? So 46 games. It normally evens itself all out. To do this, for me, I can't make any sense of it other than perhaps, as Harp says here, bit of a money game.
Yeah. I did raise an eyebrow when you sent it over to me. So they're voting on it next month, aren't they? And everyone's expecting it to go through, and Sky Sports are expecting it to go through because they want the entertainment factor and all that kind of thing. And they'd already sort of sounded out the clubs to see whether or not they were, whether or not they was in favour of it. I mean, it's worked very well, hasn't it, in the non-league, in the National League? I mean, that's kind of the model they're using, isn't it? But the difference being, when you go from the National League into League Two, there's not much gap between the sides. And probably you could argue some non-league sides in the National League are run better than some of the League Two teams. You only have to look at who's at the top of League Two at the moment. It's Bromley, and he got promoted about 2 seasons ago. So that shows you that the gap isn't so big. The gap, as we know from experience, is massive between the Championship and the Premier League. And that would be even bigger if you was given an opportunity for non-league sides to sneak into mid-table sides to sneak into the playoffs via finishing 8th. And you look at last season's table, Millwall was 8th, 66 points. They were 34 points behind Leeds and Burnley. I mean, they'd both be potentially competing in the same in like the most elite division in the world, pretty much. So I get it if it's giving fans something to aim for. You're floating around mid-table.
It's something. It's called 46 games in a season. Do it then.
No, I get that.
It's allowing teams to squeak in. It's allowing. It's just look at the league table last season, for example. You mentioned that yourself. The top 10 last year. Borough, who currently lead our division, were in 10th, right?
Yeah.
West Brom finished 9th. They're battling relegation this year. Blackburn were in 7th. So, and we're talking about the quality from the Championship to the Premier League potentially getting bigger. One season of the 3 teams going up does not change that mindset until you get it on a regular basis. Okay, for me anyway. So the gap. And why is it always the Championship getting messed about? When did the Premier League start saying we want some of this excitement as well? So let's have 4 teams go down. Let's have 4 go down.
I was going to say that.
3 Championship go up. And then you expand the playoffs. Why is it always the league below that has to have the excitement and the changes? Is that because why is that, Matt? Tell me what that is.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that could be another thing they could add in, couldn't they? 4 coming down from the Premier
They wouldn't
League.
do that, would they? That's one more team going down there at the moment. That's risk of losing.
Oh, well, they'd have to vote for that, wouldn't they? No one's going to do that because
exactly.
You have to vote about getting off the gravy train. So that's not going to happen, is it? And then the Premier League have got the same reservations. Well, they've got reservations because they feel like a team finishing mid-table-ish or 8th in the Championship and going into the Premier League and then competing in the Premier League might, not add to the quality factor. But the gap between the 2 divisions doesn't add to it anyway. I mean, this season a bit of an anomaly, isn't it? With West Ham down there, Forest are down, Spurs are down there now. They lost Thomas Frank. They're 16th again. Wolves coming down. Oh well, it's going to go through anyway, and it will start next season. It will start next season.
I am a traditionalist. I won't ever break away from being that, and any new idea always it's harder for me to come round to. What makes the playoffs is it's 4 teams. One has more or less traditionally broken into that top 6 on a late run. Are they the dark horses, having finished 10, 15, 8 points, whatever many points it is behind third? Are third really that good, having just missed out on the top 2, 4th and 5th? Can they consolidate and then go in the playoffs and get through those 3 games of the season? It just makes it a really unique spectacle, special time, makes the games really worthwhile, and of course makes the end of the season quite something when you've got a team. So, you've got a team. Let's take Millwall. If they slip down the league table and are sitting in 6th and they go to QPR or wherever last day of the season, and QPR are not quite anything to play for, will they show up for that? Will they secure a playoff spot, etc.? It makes every game worth something. If you go to 8th, teams 4 to 6, they could be playing for nothing, Curtis, for the last 2 weeks of the season.
Well, the way I look at it is, surely as you rise up through the leagues, it should be harder to reach the pinnacle. No, like as you go up the mountain, it gets tougher to reach the top of it. So therefore, why are we now trying to award teams that maybe have had a mediocre season and then have a late charge towards the end? Like, if you aren't consistently good enough to make the playoffs right now in order to make that top 6, why are we now trying to reward teams who finish 7th, 8th? It makes no sense to me. Like, it should be harder the further up the leagues you go. I don't see, like you say, apart from money, I don't see what the benefit is really. I would also argue that realistically, would there be so much hype to watch a team 8th and 7th and 8th like in the playoffs? Would there be so much more money involved in that? Like, I don't know. I think football, obviously you steep it in traditions and you can change certain things, but I just feel like when a format works the way it is, There's just no need to change it. But the laws see fit, and those who run the system, they'll change whatever they think's right. It baffles me. But it's along the lines of when you see these rumours about handing out different colour cards and timeout breaks. If something's not broken, I don't think you need to fix it. And in my opinion, if you finish on 60 odd points, 30 odd points behind the top two, and X amount of points behind sixth in the end, that's just hard luck. Better luck next season. And as you just mentioned there, you've got teams who are now facing relegation the following season who were up there last season. So what are we trying to say? Like, what are we trying to say, really? I don't know. If a team is that good, they will be consistently up there. And, for example, you've got your likes of your Blackburn. Like, they clearly weren't able to do it this season. So, for me, that's just the way it falls.
And frankly, Matt, any system that gets Norwich City any closer to the playoff places gets a flat out no from me. Because Norwich right now, if this was in place right now, only probably 6 points outside of eighth, which would be a playoff position. Not happening. Not under my watch, Matt.
No, I totally agree with you on that one. To keep with Curtis's excellent mountain analogy, the powers that be, Curtis, are saying they've got halfway up the mountain. Yeah. We're going to get them a chance to get to the top. I mean, that's probably what they're thinking. I don't think it would impact too much if you was finishing third or whatever, because you're not. You'd still be favourites to be able to get to Wembley to play in the final, I think. So I don't think playing seventh or eighth is going to impact you particularly. We'll just have to wait and see. It's going to come through. But look, we sit here at the moment as a club with parachute payments and competing for Premier League and everything. I mean, don't take too much. It only takes Marcus Evans to come in. A couple of seasons later, you're slipping down the table and we'll be sitting here going, can we make eighth?
Yeah.
Can we get into the playoffs?
Yeah.
You know, this is it. All right, on to Wrexham Friday night and our 1-11s. Here's why we should make wholesale changes. But before we do, let's see what Matt's got to say on his team. Matt, as always, this is the team that played against Derby. You're going to tell me how many changes, who you're changing, and why you are changing them. So your lineup is Walton, Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre, Davis, Matasiwa, Taylor, Burns, Mehmeti, Jack Clark, and Azon. What do you think?
I think I'm making like half a dozen changes here. I mean, I've got the Blackpool team in front of me. I'm probably picking as close as that as I possibly can. I think we'd all be in agreement that Palmer would play, give him some game time. Very unlucky. He hasn't played since Blackpool game, but he's not featured in the league, has he, since Charlton? Less said about that game, the better. Ashley Young played right back, didn't he, against Blackpool? Well, he's not going to feature. So I would probably play Furlong there. And I would say if I take O'Shea out the side, Furlong could be captain, having captained West Bromwich Albion this season.
Not Ben Johnson?
I'd probably have Ben Johnson on the left-hand side.
Okay.
Instead of Leaf. Argument to play Leaf, so we've got some attacking threat there. I thought Kipre and Greaves were a good partnership in the middle, weren't they? Kipre playing on the right-hand side, which is pretty alien to him at the moment. So I'd keep those two. Central midfield is where I'm going to make changes. I think now we've got Dan Neil in. He's not cup tied. He was an unused sub, Sunderland versus Everton, which Sunderland won on penalties, I seem to recall. So he's not cup tied. So he can. Matthew, we can have a rest. Dan Neil in there. I'd probably play Taylor next to him for a bit of extra dynamic. Right-hand side, Wes played against Blackpool. Well, he went off injured, didn't he, Saturday? So he might not be featuring anyway. Therefore, one of Egley or McAteer in there. Potentially McAteer having got the assist on Saturday. The 10's a funny one because Mehmeti is cup tied. Scored against Watford when they beat them 5-0, whatever it was, 5-1.
Didn't they change the cup tie rules though this year?
No, he won't be. Mehmeti can't play, I don't believe, because he's already played for Bristol City in it, so he won't be able to play. So okay. I'm probably playing. I think I'm playing Akpom there. We don't know whether or not Philogene or Nunes are going to be returning. I mean, this would be a perfect game for them to get some game time under their belts with it, but I'm not sure there. So Akpom in the 10. I'm going to work on the premise that Nunes and Philogene aren't ready. Akpom in the 10. Clark on the left. I'll play George Hurst at the 9.
So you're making wholesale changes the same way I would be making wholesale changes. Mike said he'd be playing the kids. A win would be nice, but honestly, if we lose and beat them in the league, that will do league's priority. That's why I'm making wholesale changes. The FA Cup is an illustrious cup. It's a cup we've got tradition and history in, but 2 games back to back. The second one is the most important one. And you've had a lot of games. You've got a lot of more away games coming up. You've got Tuesday nights. Obviously, Portsmouth keeps being rearranged every time we try and play it. bit like some sort of computer bug. You try and play it and it just won't let you do it. So you've got to try and reload it. So you don't know where you're going to be. And of course, you want to try and keep those players fresh. And any injuries, you want to try and ease back into the situation. So that's why I'm making wholesale changes point blank, the same as you would be. That Curtis, how about yourself? What sort of team are you putting out there?
To be fair, very much like the Blackpool one, as Matt said. But in fairness for me, so I'd be going with Palmer in net, because I think he's got to have some game time at some point, just to keep him on his toes. I think at the back, because I know against Blackpool he got a few minutes at the end. I know he's ended up sticking around at the club. It wouldn't surprise me if you saw a Baggott get a start just in the cup. Just again, if he's there to be used, then you may as well use him and give your main starting centre back in Cedric Kitbray a rest. So I'd probably maybe expect to see him in the lineup, especially with the same game coming next week, and like you said, the more important game in my opinion. Jacob Greaves slotted in there, and then midfield, I think you'd have to go, in my opinion, although it's not as important game as the following week, I would still go with Matasiwa, and I'd put Dan Neal in. I'd like to see what type of midfield that is. I mean, it's very, I would imagine, holding, defensive, but for me, I'd just like to see it. I'd like to see how it works. Don't know, the upfront area is a bit weird at the moment, because for me, like you say, I don't know what the rules are with Mehmeti now, because you've got players like Semenyo.
Well, he can play. It's my understanding that the cup tied rules have changed, and he would be able to play. I mean, Matt, this is what the actual law says. So if you can help me, that would be great. But a player shall only play for one club in the competition during the same season, save that a player that has played for one club in the qualifying competition and/or the competition proper may play for a maximum of one other club in the competition proper, but may only play for a maximum of one club in any given round of the competition. Make sense?
Could you read that again, please? That doesn't make sense to me at all. Stick it into AI and see what it says. I mean, traditionally, if you've played for a side, from round 3 on.
They changed the rules, didn't they?
Yeah,
they relaxed them.
It's the Man City effect. It's the Man City effect. I think it all started to slowly drip out when Semenyo moved from Bournemouth, and then next thing you were suddenly allowed to play in the cup. It was a bit unusual because everyone else didn't know what.
But the last round was round 3, so they wouldn't have featured in the cup already, would they?
I've just asked my friend Chatty, what does this mean?
Chatty.
All right, and once chat here it says this rule is about players' ability. Basic rule: a player can only play for one club. So normally, the exception is a player played for one club in the qualifying rounds or in the main tournament. They're allowed to transfer and play for one other club in the competition proper, but they may only play for one club per round. So yes.
So if you've played in the non-league qualifying rounds, you could play from the 3rd round onwards.
And if you've played in the 3rd round, you'd be able to play in the 4th round for another club. Because different rounds.
So that suggests to me Messi can't, because obviously he played in round 3 and not in the qualifying round. So that's how I see it.
No. They may only play for one club per round.
Let's take this offline.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It is a weird one.
I would be very doubtful that they've changed that ruling.
I don't know.
But
I'm just telling you what the law of the game says. So it's not a rule; it's a law.
Well, yeah, of course.
You should know that, being an XFA man. You should know it's a law, not a rule.
Yeah, exactly. Well, laws of the game. That's a competition rule, slightly different. Yeah, I still think I'm right. I don't think you can favour another one, but I'm happy to be correct if needs be.
Yeah, likewise. But look, Curtis, just leave football alone. Just leave football alone. Don't relax this. Don't relax that. Don't try this. Don't try that. Don't include this. Just leave football alone, Curtis.
Or just make your rules a bit more clear. Stop using words. Stop using words over and over again. Just make it clear to the common man.
Curtis, this is a sport that still can't decide what is offside and what is a handball. So forget about being clear.
Exactly.
I think Mike B's got the right idea. It's like trying to decipher the Enigma code.
No, this is harder. This is ridiculously hard. Like, because it shouldn't be this hard, though, really, should it? Jokes aside, to know whether a player is or isn't. But carry on, Curtis. Sorry. So, regardless of Mehmeti, we'll leave him in the stands anyway. He's one of our best players at the moment. So, best place is to be sat watching it with Colin Plum. What else are you doing with the rest of the team?
I'm starting Wally Egley instead of McAteer. In my opinion, I just feel like in a cup game, it's kind of a free hit for a player like him who's not maybe he's kind of like gone down in minutes over recent weeks that you'd probably expect for the price tag that you paid for him. So I think in a cup game, I think it's a bit of a free hit, whilst also being a good test for him to see whether he'd suit playing against him the following week. Because again, with McKenna, he does like a tinker, so it's a good free hit and a good test to see whether he's actually able to play against him the following week. But then striker wise, I mean, we're hardly blessed, are we? It's either going to be Azon or Hurst, unless they wanted to play Akpom up front. However, with the number 10s at the moment, I can imagine they'll probably end up just throwing him back in the number 10 with Azon or Hurst up front again. It's a bit of a tough one.
I'd be keen to know, Curtis, what is your take on the number 9 situation? Me and Martin have done it to death. Everyone's bored of what we think. What's your take on the players in those roles this season?
I mean, did anyone really expect even Azon to light up the Championship? I mean, it's one of them. I don't think he's ever lit up any league that he's really been a part of. He came with a lot of hype, but I don't know whether that's a bit of a foreign player bias. I think maybe it's more in hope that we can have another Pablo Canago on our hands. So I think maybe that's where some of the hype comes from. Don't get me wrong, the man has had chances. It's just unfortunately, but for absolutely fantastic saves or a miss hit, it's just not come off for him. And I think George Hurst. I think George Hurst is George Hurst. I think he is exactly what he is. I think I don't think he was ever going to be your 15 to 20 goal a season striker. But again, I'm not paid the big money to go out and find these people. And in my opinion, I just don't know why we wouldn't have been searching around or at least been putting bids in for the correct people. I mean, we've evidently tried it in the past. We tried to get was it the Greek lad? Before
Ioannidis.
We got and that was also whilst Hurst was here. So it's been an issue that we clearly have known about. And had we got him, you'd been looking at George Hurst being your third choice striker at that point. And somehow we are almost a year detached away from the Premier League, and we are looking at George Hurst back as our number 1. And even Azon, who is still rather raw, especially in the English leagues. It's a bit annoying to keep going over it, especially when you feel like those who get paid more than you should be recognising this. But can't change anything now. January has passed.
No,
just got to deal with the cards you've been dealt.
Ivan's on your list of players we're all in to buy, Martin, if we get promoted. See another one.
There is an obligation, isn't there? Yeah, there is an obligation.
Yeah, obligation.
Yeah. So another one. Look, we took Nunez off Norwich, and they've had Brian Clew join them. Obviously, look, can we find out who keeps finding them unknown attacking players that turn out to be absolutely quality?
Toure. It's Toure last night.
Toure last night. Hat-trick. Had anyone? Was he on anyone's radar before Norwich picked him up? I'm not quite sure if he was. So whoever's finding these gems for Norwich, stop, first and foremost, please. But second of all, come and work for Ipswich, please, because they keep doing it, Matt. They keep finding them.
Yeah, they do. So he is an Australian bought from Randers in Denmark. They bought him for 2.6 million, it says here. Yeah. I mean, it was only Oxford, who we failed to beat at the Kassam Stadium. Got beat 2-1, didn't we? So, that just shows you what a bad result that was. One of the reasons why we're not sitting in the top 2 at the moment. But, yeah, good point. Not missing Sargent, are they?
No, because this is what they do. This is what they've done over the last several years. Annoyingly. Mike says there's not an obligation with Azon. He doesn't think that deal was on, off to the point where I don't know really if anyone quite knows what the actual deal that we got over the line was. Only time can really tell with that. I do think
you went home and flew back.
Well, it was on and off, wasn't it? So many times.
Yeah.
I do think when it starts to click for Azon, there'll be a player there, but he's very raw. Nigel, 1978, my first match with my dad. A couple of matches against Orion.
For me, it's very worrying that Azon, like you say, at one point it was off due to what we were told as a failed medical, and then in the dying embers of a summer transfer window, we've then gone back to said player who supposedly did fail a medical in McKenna's own words, and somehow we've ended up just going back for him anyway. So
and he's been fit throughout though.
There's alarm bells in. Did you ever have a backup on your backup, or do you have a very short list and what you can work from, or who is in fact doing the recruiting? Who is in fact doing the recruiting? Because it's very alarming that in 1 week you are saying he's not going to be medically fit, and then like you say, he seems to have been able to be fit all this time, and I'll just stick
the whole of Suffolk have now got a crook in their in their neck. And which if you have, don't forget to call Freddie at Stowmarket Osteopaths for osteopath and physiotherapy services. Give him a call on 01449 613 633. That's 01449 613 633. Because after you've looked at Curtis that way for a while, look, you need to call osteopath and physiotherapy services. Whatever device your camera is, turn it the other way. That's it. There you go. Oh, no, try again. And in no way did he do that for the segue, by the way. That was completely unbeknownst to me. Mike D says Windows 95 is back. Jamie, regardless of who we feel, because it's the FA Cup, Wrexham in the same position. They'll likely give a number of their best players a rest as they try to get into the playoffs. Our depth will tell. Absolutely. Look, you're not... The FA Cup, greatest will in the world, you're not going to win it, I don't think. You can go far in it, but you're not probably going to win it where we are in the footballing pyramid, but priority has to be regaining that elite status of being in the Premier League, because that's where it is the place to be. Whether you like VAR, don't like VAR, like the refs, don't like the refs, like the teams, don't like the teams, whatever it might be. That is the place to be. Everyone talks about you. The eyes of the world are on you. The money is there. The players are there. And if you're not trying to get there, what's the point in really doing this? Because otherwise, it's no point going for a season.
I'm sure they'd be disappointed about playing us because they beat Forest, didn't they? The Racecourse Ground in the last round, which featured Amari Hutchinson in it. He missed the pen, didn't he, Amari? So, I mean, that was quite a night for them, wasn't it? It was a Friday night, I think. So they'd probably be disappointed having to play us twice in a week. But we'll see. But yeah, the league game is the one, isn't it? The league game is the one for us.
Right, hit the like button and subscribe for your town news, views, fan opinion, and more. I'm back on Friday for our watch along, Wrexham watch along. I should be doing, and the match reaction. Then we're live Saturday where we break it all down. But let's do our score prediction right now, ladies and gentlemen. I want your score prediction, and I want your first Town goal scorer if Town are to score. Matt, go. What is it?
I'm going to say Ipswich will squeak it 1-0. And our goal scorer will be Jack Clark, obviously.
Okay, 1-0. Goal scorer, Jack Clark. Curtis.
I'm going to go with another squeaker. I'm going to go 1-0. And I'm actually going to go the opposite flank. I'm going to say Val Egley.
Lovely. That would be good. Nice little confidence for him, that one. That really, really would. I would like to see McAteer play again after a really good cameo off the bench Saturday against Derby.
I can see him playing in the league game. I can see him playing ahead of Wes. Because what was it I saw the other day? Did I say he went off with an injury to his groin area or something like that? So yeah, I can see McAteer starting in the league game. But I feel like this is a good opportunity for someone who spent 20-odd million on.
Yeah, that would be good. We've got Hurst first goal scorer from Beard and 2-1. James says 2-0. Beard is joining me, by the way, on the match reaction show Friday night. So do come and join us, win, lose, or draw. Colin says our plan A might be plan B. But guess what? We also put Ipswich Town FC and Kieran McKenna. We've got We've got, that's it, I think, in terms of score predictions so far while they're coming in. Oh, Greaves, 30-yarder, says Mike D. That's what threw me off.
It's optimistic, that, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. It's what threw me completely off. And 2-2 from Trevor. Don't forget, we're partnered with Matchday. Going to give you a 100% deposit bonus when you use the word town all in caps. Deposit minimum is £10. Wild bonus cash can't be withdrawn. The winnings, they absolutely can be. Word is town all in caps for that 100% deposit bonus. Easy for you to say. Over 18s only. Term conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly. Visit biggamblerware.org for more information should you need to. And to play, scan the QR code on the screen and click the link, or rather, I haven't got to do both. Not one of these things you've got to do both on. Or click the link in the description. Right. Nigel says 2-1 town. We're done for today. Thank you so much for joining us on our match preview and our playoff rant. Until next time, Matt, Curtis, you've been absolutely excellent. Thank you. Do join us Friday night for our watch along and the match reaction. But until then, you've reached the end. Thank you so much for watching. Hit here to subscribe. It's totally free. And hit here for more Talking Town videos. I'll see you on the next one.